I'm Elaine Sims. I'm on the campus of St. Catherine's College here in Pettis Auditorium. And I have with me today Cameron Lackey. Cameron is on the track and field team here at St. Catherine's, lives on campus, a native of Bardstown.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's back up first and just talk about why you chose St. Catherine's, and then we'll ask about why you chose track and field, or when you started, whichever.
It was probably my sophomore year when I thought about doing track and field. The coach at Bardstown, his name was Tom Williams. He wanted me to come out, but I was always skeptical. I was like, am I good enough?
You hadn't run since then?
I didn't throw. I've never thrown. I broke my leg in 8th grade and playing around being a boy. And then freshman year I was in a boot all year. And then sophomore year I was finally cleared to play, but I never played football. But I was working out every day, trying to get my legs stronger, rehabbing myself. And so the track coach, Coach Williams, he came in there. He was like, well, "You're an awfully big boy." He was like, "Do you want to try shot put or discus?" I was like, I don't know what that is at the time. I was like, sure, I'll try it. Well, I have big hands, so he's like, well, hold this disc. The disc is like probably about that wide around a high school is. He's like, well, hold the disc. So I held it in my hand. He's like, you have really big hands. I was like, yeah, I never thought of it,
Yeah.
I never thought of,
Now, if you'd been a female, you would have criticized yourself for that, but a man.
So he was like, you have really big hands. He's like, you'll be really good at this particular sport. I was like, well, I'll try it. I came out to a practice. I didn't even throw it that far, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this
Describe
anymore.
what this is to the people that wouldn't know.
A discus is this is a little disc. It has a metal rim to it, and it's got like a plastic cover, and it's got like metal in the middle, so like whenever you throw it, it just takes off.
So you throw it from the side?
You throw it like this. What you want to do, you do a full spin, or you can do a South African style. I do a full spin. It's kind of like 2 spins in one, and then you just let it go. Well, the first time I tried, I just did a power throw. I just stood at the front and I just wound it up and just threw it. It just so I was like, yeah, I might not try this, because I was embarrassed the first time I did it. So he's like, well, let's try shot put. I was like, okay. My hand, again, I could grip the shot put. I thought this would be easy. It's just a 12-pound ball. This would be real easy.
So that you
just throw it from the neck and then you just flick your fingers out. Well, I tried that and it said, whoop. I was like, yeah, maybe track and field isn't for me. So my junior year, I rehabbed up. I got stronger again. I got bigger. So I decided to play football. I did all right, coming back off a leg break. So I was like, well, I'm going to go back out for track and field. I'm going to try it. So I go back out. He's like, well, if you do this, you can't quit, because if you quit, I won't let you do it no more. I was like, all right, well, I won't quit. So I tried it. And the first few meets were a little rocky, but I started getting the hang of it. And then at the end of the year, I started beating my friend, Keith Mattingly, the one who he used to just dominate. So I just started beating him. And then senior year, that's when I just took off. I just started throwing out of the ring. Like at the beginning of the season, I only threw like 115s on average, but then at the end I started throwing 120s, 130s. I even hit 140 in practice in the disc. In the shot, I got 40 a few times in practice, but the highest I ever started throwing, the highest recorded in a meet was 39 feet.
Wow.
But then I was at practice, and my old coach Jeremy Dale, he called up the coach from here in St. Catherine. He's like, I have a few guys here throwing 120s and 40s in shot. He said, why don't you come out and watch them, because the next meet we had was regions. So of course the coach from St. Catherine came. I recognized him because he would come to Bardstown and practice with the team. The team was small, but me and my friend, we had this idea of being the building blocks for the throwers here at St. Catherine. So we decided, well, we're gonna push as hard as we could. We never thrown in actual throwing shoes. We threw in old tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So he got us Keith got us an old pair of throwing shoes. I had these old white busted ASIC throwing shoes, and he had these nice red Nike shoes. And I was like, well, thanks for giving me the crappy pair. But, that's real nice.
Maybe he thought you were so good that it wouldn't matter.
Well, I hope so. Then it's regions. We're throwing disc first. It was raining and cold. I always wore tube socks whenever it was cold outside. And I remember my mom was there. She laughed at me. I had tube socks that was about that high. And she laughed at me because my shorts was like this short. So I looked like
looked a little retro.
I looked like an 80s basketball player. So she was just laughing at me. My sister was laughing at me. I was like, well, I'm going to show y'all. I was like, y'all keep laughing. I'm going to show y'all. So I get in the ring. I'm just warming up. And then it's my turn. I'm like finally ready to go to throw because we get a minute to throw. So I just started throwing that first kick perfect. The second kick was perfect, and I let it go. It flew out, and I thought it was going to go out. I was like, crap. And then it came back in. I was like, oh, and it landed. He's like 134, and I was like, wow. And I was winning at that point. I was winning. And then this kid from Kentucky Country Day, he came back. He threw a 135 to beat me.
Oh.
So, but it was the top two in each event go to state. I came in second in disc at regions, and then in shot put, I just did terrible.
Oh.
Well, as I was throwing, I could see the coach from St. Catharine watching me. And then once I finished both events, he came up and talked to me. He introduced himself. He said, hey, my name is Blake Jones. I'm the coach of St. Catharine. I really like what I've seen out of you. I want to come watch you throw at state. I was like, okay, cool. And then, so I'm practicing. I was like, oh, I'm going to get this scholarship. Because I had talked to a few other coaches. I talked to a coach from Campbellsville. A few of them contacted me via my email. But the one from St. Catharine is the only one that came to really watch me at state. One came, but he watched another girl from my team. Her name was Sierra Allen. It was the coach from Campbellsville came and watched her. Well, I ended up placing 6th at state out of a few. I don't know how many through at 1A in track, but I know I came in 6th. And he was like, well, I want to sign you. I was like, well, how much money are we talking? He's like, I'll give you $8,000. He said, plus you got a pretty decent score your ACT, you'll get $3,000 in a merit scholarship. I was like, you're talking a lot more than what the coach from Campbellsville was talking. He was only going to give me like $2,000 for football and track. So I was like, well, you just matched his offer a lot by a long shot. So I said, I'm done. Sign. Bring me the papers. So after state, well, like 2 or 3 weeks later, we held a signing day for me and my buddy Keith. We both signed to St. Catharine in the auditorium. My mom came out, the coach came out, we took pictures, signed paper, they had cake for us and all that. Hell, it was like a little party. It was nice. And I don't.
Was that program going on here then? But did they start that program with you, or
they started? I think a year before me.
Okay.
I think they started a year before me.
Okay.
But they never had any throwers. I think it was only like 4 people on the team at that time.
And you went to Bardstown High or Nelson?
Yes, ma'am.
Bardstown High. Okay. So you were from a big school. So you were in 1A.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's a great story. I mean, has it been what you expected it to be? I mean, I'm not saying do you always win, but has your experience been good?
Yeah, well, my freshman year, I thought I was hot stuff because, hey, I got a scholarship in track. And it took a few beatings in track to finally make me realize, well, I'm not always going to win. These guys are a lot more talented than I am. So I started really working out. I started running. I started really working on my technique and how I throw. And then the first meet of last year, I came in 3rd in shot put. I ended up throwing 43 feet. And I think I came in like 7th in disc. So the hard work paid off, and I started gradually progressing. And then I hit my slumps. But every person has their slumps, so I started hitting those. But then I'm currently training to get back into. I want to end up throwing at least 50 feet this year.
Wow.
But
well, as you well know, it's kind of those slumps in life that really give you the opportunity to step up and decide to do something.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's a lot of it's just determination.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And we have a new thrower. I try to help him out as much as I can. I don't really like lifting with a lot of people because I go at a really intense rate, so they kind of slow me down, and I don't feel like I'm getting the workout I used to. So I just tell him to do tell him the workout that I do, and do it at his own pace. Because if he works out with me, then.
Well, I mean, Cameron, your story in itself, is a great example of how you start out as a freshman and you're willing to learn, and then you just get better and better.
Yes,
I mean, I love your attitude. It's
you.
amazing. I really do. I think it's really. I think it's good for young people to. I hope a lot of young people hear your story, because rather than get discouraged and say, "I'm not going to do this," it just made you work harder, and that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I hope the world's full of a lot of young men like you. I mean, that's wonderful.
I'm trying to help my little brother be like that. He's only 8, but I still try to
stay focused. Yeah.
help
Well,
him stay focused.
you had good parenting, evidently, because I mean, it's great that you take that attitude.
Yeah.
A lot of people would give up. Yeah. So that's great. That's great. What have you majored in since while you were here? at St. Catherine's?
My freshman year, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a middle school social studies and math teacher. But the program here, it kind of like threw me in a little too quick. I wasn't too ready. So I kind of backed out of that. And I changed my major to sports leadership because I want to coach too as well. So what I was thinking about doing, I was going to get my bachelor's here in coaching and sports leadership and then go somewhere and get my master's in teaching.
That's why I was wondering if you thought about that.
I was going to
That's
get my
great.
master's in teaching and be like a PE teacher. And then I actually still want to go back to school and get my doctorate in history because I love history. And I wanted to come to a school and teach history, college, and teach history, and also coach track and field and football as well.
American history, European history, world history.
World history.
Wow. So I mean, you could have done math, social studies, history. I mean, you probably can do about anything you set your mind to.
Yes, ma'am.
That's great. That's great.
I got big dreams right now.
Well, and you're a junior.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've got one more year. And then, I mean, I guess you'll start looking for scholarships or whatever, but I guess if you have to, you'll work for a year until you get what you want. Don't give up, because a lot of times, first year and you think, oh, and then people think, well, I'll just settle for this.
Yeah.
But you have too much talent nothing wrong with being a factory worker, but you have a lot of talent there that you can develop. Who knows, you may come back here someday.
I would actually like to come back and coach here.
Yeah. What else are you involved? It sounds like you're involved in a lot of things on campus. I don't know how you have time, but let's talk about that.
I have 2 jobs actually on campus. I'm an RA and I'm a student ambassador, and I just got this job as a defensive coordinator for this intramural football team we're going to take to Western Kentucky. So I've been busy.
Oh, you're going to do an intramural football team?
Yes,
really?
ma'am.
How many is on the team?
We have 15 right now. I keep taking a few hits, but I keep bringing on new people. So
you're the assistant, or what's your position in
defensive coordinator.
Okay. Wow.
So I do the defense. It's only like a little 7-on-7, but
how fun!
It is actually a lot of fun. I have these little formations. I have them run, but it's a lot of fun. But I've just been real busy. Okay. But I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest.
So an RA means that
I'm a resident assistant, so I'm a college official. I work in the residence life office. I do rounds throughout the building. I make sure everything's okay. I have my own floor. I have the first floor.
On the dorm?
Yes, ma'am. At Aquinas, that's my floor. Each RA has their own floor. They're in charge of doing a bulletin board, making name tags. They do programs. It's really interactive. I like that. I like that a whole lot. I'm a people person.
Good. And then there was another thing that
Student ambassador.
Student ambassador.
I give tours. I make phone calls to potential students who want to come here. I email them, letting them know, thank you for being interested in St. Catherine. We really appreciate you being interested in our school because we're a small school. We don't get as much publicity as we should, as we need, actually. So I try to reach out to those students who want to come here, and I give tours around campus. I show them I tell them about all the things that go on campus, student activities, the opportunities that St. Catherine can bring to people that want to come here. So I do that as well.
Well, I think, anybody that's watched this realizes St. Catherine is fortunate to have you. You're a great representative.
Thank you.
I can, kudos to you. You've done a great job on this interview.
Thank you.
When I do these interviews, a lot of times the students are so nervous, and you just came in here just as cool as a cucumber. I can tell you've been exposed to a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was in Bardstown, we have the PLG 13 news. I was in that for football. I was in the newspaper a lot for football and track. Whenever me and my buddy got signed, we did an interview as well. So I've been exposed to the media a little bit, so I'm not real shy.
Well, your confidence is good, but I'm sure just participating in sports helps you get past a lot of the
It helps a lot. It helps a lot.
Yeah. Past that nervous, but you're great. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for coming in here on a Friday morning.
No problem.
Thank you.